Guys, welcome back to the channel. DemiGodReviews here, giving you guys some Far Cry Primal gameplay now that I finally brought it out the backlog and I actually began to put some time into it. Welcome to the first episode of Thinkpiece. Thinkpiece is a once-a-month video that I'll be doing on episodic things with topics, and I'll be talking about what's on my mind about the gaming industry or gaming period, and I really feel like I need to discuss these topics. The two topics that I have for this video today are being a clone of a game and not really bringing anything innovative to the table, and Crackdown 3, since that is one of the hottest things to talk about right now. So with that being said, let's get started with my views and thoughts about being a clone and not bringing anything new or innovative to the table. First off, now you guys know I did a review on The Surge, which is developed by Deck 13 Interactive and published by Focus Home Interactive. The Surge is a Souls clone that is set in a sci-fi dystopian future where the world is breaking down and you're trying to find a cure for the world and things of that nature. Now, at first, I didn't know that this was developed by Deck 13, or I didn't know who the developer was at first. But when I looked at the repertoire of Deck 13 and what they made before The Surge, these are also the same developers of Lords of the Fallen, the first initial game that they made, which is also just basically like Dark Souls. Lords of the Fallen had some interesting gameplay about it. It had some nice combat. It wasn't anything amazing or something to write home about, but now that I look at The Surge and I look at Lords of the Fallen, they kind of fall victim of the same thing that Deck 13 is, inspired by. Deck 13 really wants to make a Souls clone game there, inspired by Dark Souls, as their first two games are basically just Souls type titles, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But if you're going to be a Souls clone game, I suggest that you do something innovative or different to the table. The Surge has something different with the limb targeting system and the core build up where you can have some perks around your character and whatnot. But besides that, their game really truly hasn't been like anything different or anything inspiring to the table. Now, I'm not gonna knock Deck 13 because they have some ideas, they have some differences that they're trying to bring, and they were trying to do something different. And I get that you're inspired by a game to where you want to make something. The game I want to develop in the later future is designed by Grand Theft Auto and Yakuza, well, inspired by Grand Theft Auto and Yakuza, for open world free roam and creative and drama bringing and basically gripping story. But I would do something different to set aside myself from being just a GTA and Yakuza clone. And that's where The Surge and Lords of the Fallen tends to fall from, because it really doesn't set itself different outside of the settings. Lords of the Fallen was just a big castle-like setting. The Surge was a sci-fi dystopian world. But as I played through those games, I noticed that they really didn't do anything different or really brought anything different to the table. Just kind of, just said, hey, we're a game that's trying to be like Dark Souls, or we were inspired by Dark Souls, and here's what you're gonna get. Now, that's no knock at Deck 13. They're gonna feel strongly about what they publish and what they make, which is no problem at all. But I would like to see something different brought to the table. If you notice that the Souls-like games that have come out, they all have brought something different. Salt and Sanctuary, Neo, the ones that are coming out later in the future, Cold Vein, Ash, and they're all trying to at least bring something different and be innovative. They're not just trying to be America's next Dark Souls game, which I notice if you're gonna a lot of games are trying to cash on this trend of artificially difficult games and just trying to be tough in general, which is cool. But if you're gonna have that idea, be different, do different. Don't just sit there and copy and paste hard difficulty in a game and just make it unfair to play. That's what Neo does different. Salt and Sanctuary, even though it's a 2D game, they at least try to be different and give you something to work with. The Surge falls prey to just, well, here's how we can make this game hard and just make it as hard as possible so you can get through. The mobs were harder than the actual bosses. Lords of the Fallen, the combat was just hard to work with sometimes. And both games just fell victim of let's pile things together in order to be hard and be difficult, and just put everything together and make it as hard as possible. Now, I mean, yeah, game design is going to be different, that's a different sense in a way, but when it's not punishing just to let you learn, it's just punishing just to be punishing, that's when a problem ensues. And that's what The Surge and that's what Lords of the Fallen, or not Lords of the Fallen, but that's what The Surge fell short from. if you're gonna be a clone, or if you're gonna be inspired by a game, at least be different. There are a lot of games out here that, you know, clone from each other. Like, for instance, I think Horizon Zero Dawn was a little bit inspired by Far Cry Primal. They at least took some ideas and flipped it and did it differently. There weren't anything, you know, just copy and paste from each other, and that's okay, because you can do that and still be a different identity. Don't just copy and paste and try to be something more, or don't just try to copy and paste and be the same game just in a different setting, because then that's just basically you're just being a clone, and you're not even being a good clone at that. As I really didn't enjoy the Surge like I did Lords of the Fallen, like I did Neo, like I did Dark Souls 3, or like I did Bloodborne. You know, Bloodborne is a faster paced Dark Souls with just a different universe and setting around it and better lore. And I think that's what bugs me the most, because that could have been so much better coming from the Surge or coming from Lords of the Fallen. You know, I get it, Deck 13, you guys are inspired by Dark Souls, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're gonna make a game, because I feel like the Surge could have been a way better hack and slash game than it could have been, you know, actual, you know, Souls clone. But that's me. I feel like if you're gonna be a clone, if you're gonna like do something like that, at least be innovative and do something different, or bring something different to the table. And now Crackdown 3. A lot of stuff has been going around about Crackdown 3. And, you know, I've been watching the videos, I've been looking at the clips, I looked at the stuff from San Diego Comic-Con when they had the people playing. Basically, Crackdown 3 needs to be smoothed out. It does have its glitches and flaws, which I'm noticing. One thing I will say that Microsoft kind of oversold is the power of the cloud with destruction, and, you know, just basically overselling a lot and trying to make the game seem more epic than what it was. And I feel like that's what made people expect a lot more from Crackdown than what it was. Myself, I didn't expect much from Crackdown. I expected it to be the cell shaded, shoot 'em up, blowy stuff up city thing that it was, like from the previous two games. Because that's what Crackdown has always been. It's just always been like, oh, we can shoot this up, we can make things explode, we can just cause chaos and destruction throughout the city. And I think Microsoft oversold the fact of cloud destruction, cloud computing, you know, and people are expecting it to look way different than what it was because of the Xbox One X. I think a lot of people were expecting Crackdown 3 to be this completely different packaging, which I myself, I'm not gonna lie, I expected it to look a little bit better, because I thought they're gonna be taking the power of the Xbox One X and doing something with that. But I'm fine with the way it looks. It's just that gameplay definitely needs to be smoothed out. They need to get some better players, because what they had people making the game look like just kind of look like a mess. And really, I feel like people's expectations about what Crackdown 3 is gonna be compared to what they thought Crackdown 3 was going to be compared to what it really was going to be. I think that's what made a lot of people get iffy about the game. Now, I myself, I feel like Crackdown 3 is just always going to be this police cop, explode city, make destruction happen kind of game. And that's what we got from what I seen at the San Diego Comic-Con clip. Personally, I feel like Microsoft should beef up the graphics a little bit, because there are better looking cell shaded titles. But Crackdown has never really been this graphical powerhouse. But if they want to show off the power of the Xbox One X, they do need to follow up with making Crackdown one of those titles that's going to be filling in for the exception. It's better to have one of your flagship titles take the power of the Xbox One X rather than some third-party title, you know, taking the power of that itself. Myself personally, I feel like a lot of the hate that's being thrown towards Crackdown, some of it is justified, some of it isn't. I feel like some people are just harping on and just hopping on the bandwagon to harp on it. Microsoft, you do have to step it up with Crackdown 3. I feel like if you're gonna like show off your flagship titles, then you have to step it up. That's me, that's just my opinion. And thank you guys for stopping by and watching Thinkpiece. That is it, folks, for the first episode of Thinkpiece. I will see you guys next month with what I need to talk about and discuss. Bruising the Backlog, we will be starting that tonight with The Last Guardian. Go check out my previous reviews on The Surge, Little Nightmares, Tekken 7, Shyness the Lightning Kingdom, Friday the 13th, and I have many more reviews coming, so be on the lookout for that. I have reviews coming for Crash Bandicoot, Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, Everspace, and Serial Cleaner for Xbox One, and I'm working on Persona 5 right now as we speak, and I will be having a review of that coming up shortly. So until next time, and until the next Thinkpiece episode, or whatever video is going to be coming next, we'll tune in, turn up, and throw down. I'm out, and I thank you guys for watching and starring in this Thinkpiece episode. Until the next video, folks, until the next time, and until bruising the backlog, I'm out.